Yes, and thank you, Ophelia, and to San Jose Public Library for inviting me to share my experience as an Asian American woman and my work in our community. It is an honor to have this opportunity to speak on a few of the things that I have experienced over the last 20 years, some of which I have never shared to a wide audience. So everyone here today are very special to me.
Thank you so much, Tram. We're very excited and honored to have you here with us today. And I'm sure your information, which you're going to present, is going to be very important and inspiring to many of the people attending the program today. So with that, we'll get started with our first question. We are going to hold off for questions from the audience until the end of the program. So we're going to have some questions that we're going to ask Tram, and Tram is going to provide us with some amazing information. But please hold off on your questions, and at the very end, we will have time for questions, and Tram will be happy to answer as well. Okay, so the first question. As an immigrant, can you please share with us some of the biggest challenges and difficulties you faced?
As an immigrant, one of the biggest challenges and difficulties I faced was fear. The fear of the unknown danger that can happen anytime and anywhere nowadays to a short Vietnamese female immigrants like me. And the fear of losing myself, my culture, and my root. And I still remember vividly two of those incidents. The first time was during my first month after coming to the US at a community college in Texas in a school women restroom. I was almost sexually assaulted. It was unexpected and terrifying. And at that time, I just could not breathe. I could not move. I could not even yell nor call for help. I felt violated. I felt angry, hurt, and ashamed. And I was shaking uncontrollably and cried a lot that day. And I decided to not drink water during the daytime for 3 years after that, so I wouldn't have to go to the school restroom ever again. And until today, I could not even remember exactly how I was able to escape that restroom on that day. I only knew that I had to finish school, and I was not going to allow anything to stop me from achieving my goal. And the second time was 10 years ago. I was mugged while walking around a man-made lake in San Jose. I might be targeted because I fit into that profile of an Asian female immigrant who might carry a lot of cash around. And that night, I did not realize what was going on until I heard a gun fired when I refused to give them my purse. And I did not want to give it up because that purse was very important to me. It was with me almost everywhere for 9 years since the day I came to this country until that very horrific night. And in that purse, I kept all of my souvenirs and sentimental things that remind me of whom I was, of my value, my pride, my past, my root, and my home country. That's including like old photos, a phone and address book of those I love back home, a note from an old friend in Vietnam, a paper crane that my ex-boyfriend made, my high school sweetheart made, a copy of the first paycheck that I received from my first job when I was a student in Vietnam, and a crystal monkey that someone very special gave me the date I left Vietnam, with the note telling me that to not be scared because he would always be there to look after me and to protect me.
Mm-hmm.
And he passed away about a year after I left Vietnam. And for months after that incident, I could not sleep at night. I could not watch action movies. And I was on edge all the time. I freaked out whenever I heard loud noises or saw guns. But that was not devastating to me as losing those sentimental things, because for immigrants who came here during adulthood like me, we keep our past. Keeping our past, our memories of home and people back home are very, very important. I felt lost that night and months after that. Another challenge I faced was being too short and petite. And speaking English with an accent made it worse in those situations. Well, people do not take me seriously during the first 10 to 15 minutes of the encounter. Respect and consideration never seemed to be given to me when I stepped in a room. I always have to earn it. One example was when my husband and I were invited to help teach a few topics at premarital classes every year at the church in Berkeley. Even though that I was the one who prepared the contents and trained him to assist me, he was always seen as the main lecturer and I was seen as his assistant when we walk into any class on the first day. And in my work as a psychotherapist, I had patients who saw me the first day, the first time, and asked me how old I was and what I could do for them. One of my patients even stated that they has been in therapy for years with different therapists and that they would give me a try, but did not think that I could help. And at the end of that very first session, the patient looked at me and said, I made a Marine cry that day.
Thank you for sharing with us, Tram. Those are some very difficult things to talk about, and I'm very happy you were able to share that with us, because I think there's a lot of people that might have things that are similar, but it's hard to talk about. So I appreciate that you're sharing this with us.
Absolutely.
How were you able to overcome these challenges that you faced? What was it that helped you overcome?
Yeah, I guess Kelly Clarkson said, what doesn't kill you make you stronger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So focus and determination helped. The first 5 years was very difficult. I had to work 4 jobs at a time to pay tuition and bills while maintaining 12 units each semester. Each morning, I would leave my home by 5 a.m. and did not get back until about 10 p.m., 7 days a week. There were times when I had to spend the night at the school library with an empty stomach in that freezing weather at San Francisco State University, trying to finish homework because I didn't have time during the day because I have to work. And the morning after, I have to drive straight to work from the library. And I had to sacrifice all of my passion, all of my hobby during those years and just focus and set goals and making plans to achieve my goals. The other thing that helped was becoming more flexible and accepting what I cannot change. Like the fact that I'm short, I'm petite, I am always gonna be an immigrant. And for my first 9 years in the US, I hung on to my past, to my memories of Vietnam, and did not consider the US my home. I always felt like I was just an outsider and a guest here. But after that second incident with a gunshot, where I has lost so many things in that little bag that anchored me to my past life, I realized I needed to accept my situation. That even though I am an immigrant, my life and my home was now here in America. And this country was now my home away from home. And I have certain responsibility to be a part of and contribute to this community. And that I am short and fierce.
Thank you, Tram. And then why did you choose to become a psychotherapist? And why is mental health important to you?
When I was in Vietnam, because of circumstances, my parents had to work far away from home and only came home about once a month to give me money to take care of myself and my brother. I was 9 years old and my brother was 5 years old at that time. Well, of course, obviously we are not allowed to do that here in this country, right? Growing up with our parents around, I had a lot of freedom, um, but I was lonely, scared, lost, and confused. I had to make too many decisions and I had too much responsibility with limited guidance and support. So the nun and the priest at church naturally became my therapist at that time, since I ended up spending too much time at church. When I needed clarification on things, I came to them. When I faced big decision, when I was hurt, scared, confused, and did not know what to do, they comfort me and helped me to make informed decision for myself. When I make mistake, they gently confronted me, helped me to correct my wrongdoings, and reminded me that I was loved and forgiven. And that was when I wanted to be like them, to do what they did for me, to help children who were lost, lonely, scared, and in pain, to accept myself, to accept themselves, and to be the best version of themselves. I actually tried to be a nun, but that did not work out. So I decided to be a psychotherapist instead.
Thank you, Tram. And then can you talk a little bit about the stigma regarding mental health as a global issue? Could you please share about the issue in the Vietnamese community?
Of course, yeah. There are both public stigma and self-stigma regarding mental health in my community. We call people who suffer mental health issue as bị điên or crazy. Many Vietnamese believe that mental health issues are consequences of the person's improper behaviors in his or her previous life, or he or she is being punished because of the improper behaviors of his or her own parents or grandparents. Because of that, there's an unspoken rule of hiding mental health issue to protect family reputation. So for all of my life, what I did best was to set the goal for myself and achieve those goals one after another. I did not stop to smell the flowers on the way to work and school because I did not have time for that. And I did not allow myself to just slow down and recognize little simple daily joys because I did not have time for it, right? I did not take breaks to heal when I was wounded and in pain. I thought that happiness was at the finish line. And all I needed to do was to try my best to get there. And you know what? After achieving almost all of the goals that I set for myself, like I purchased my home, I got a master's degree, I got a dream job. That is when I felt lost and depressed, realizing that I am still not happy. And because of that self-stigma, I refused to seek treatments. And a few months later, I almost killed myself when I got everything that I thought that would make me happy. And that's when I decided to see my therapist for the first time and started to work on my own mental health issues. So, is it possible to be best psychotherapist that I can be and still deal with my mental health issues? I believe yes. Did I need help or treatments? Well, yes, I did, since I could not treat myself, and well, believe me, I try. Am I Dian and crazy? Absolutely not. Oh, why did I have mental health issue? Is it because of my ancestors, or did I do something wrong in previous lives? I don't know. And it doesn't really matter, does it? Because for me, to be alive and to be able to do what I need to do and want to do for myself, for my family, for my patients, and for this community is what's important to me.
Thank you, Tram. Thank you for sharing your struggles and what you've gone through, and your personal feelings about the stigma in the Vietnamese community, and your personal experience as well. What are you doing to increase the stigma of mental health in the Vietnamese community at this time? What are some things you're doing?
Um, as a psychotherapist and as a parent coach, I had countless conversations with patients telling me about their anxieties, their doubts, their stress, and difficulties that with the balancing between work and family life. Many parents saying they lost the joy and meaning in parenting, or unable to understand and connect with their children. And through personal experience, I can understand and I can relate to a challenging and lonely life of a child growing up with limited parental involvement. Nothing brings me more joy than helping parents find their happiness and meaning in parenting and helping children and parents to reconnect. In addition, being born and raised in Vietnam, I came here when I was 22 years old, 21, almost 22 years old. I have experienced and observed the effect of two different ideas and ideologies when it's come to parenting. Vietnamese family and Asian family in general typically have a more authoritarian style of parenting in which kids are meant to be seen and not heard. Though this parenting style can be effective for academic achievements, it makes it harder for the child to be independent and gain confidence. On the other end of the spectrum, the dominant parenting style in Western cultures is more permissive. And my focus is to bridge between these two parenting styles to allow a more authoritative style, the one that allows children to grow up confident, flexible, and healthy mentally and emotionally. And in order to do this, I created a private Facebook group that last September, the end of this September of 2020. And this Facebook group is for Vietnamese parents around the world. And this group named Cha mẹ thông Thái, con cái bay cao. I often share educational information and tips on mental health issues, on self-care for parents. I share positive parenting and communication skills through written posts, some short videos, and weekly live stream in Vietnamese. I also answer questions about parenting related matters from the audience. And I'm currently facilitating a support group, 21 days challenge, helping mom to recharge from May 8th to May 28th to honor mothers this month. I also have a YouTube channel. I just started and I'm still working on it in Vietnamese, and have also been active on social media as a guest speaker for Viet Network. It's a well-known TV and radio talk show in Houston, Dallas, Texas, to help the community be aware of mental health issue and to just normalize mental health treatments. I hope that in the future, moving forward, I can connect with other Vietnamese professionals in related fields to serve my community.
Thank you for sharing, Tram. And it's some amazing work that you're doing in the Vietnamese community. And I think the fact that you're able to provide the service in the native language also is so important and crucial, because you're able to make some very deep connections and build that trust as well. What is your vision and goal for the work you are doing in the Vietnamese community at this time?
I would like to help the Vietnamese to not only be able to know that there's resources out there, but also to know that it is okay to seek help, and that they don't have to go through this. We don't have to go through this. No one need to go through this alone. And that we're not crazy. that's one of the things that I want for my community to be able to realize and to use the resources that they need to make their life better and happier. And also to with my work with Parent Coach TV and in the community, that I would like to help reconnect and to help to improve the relationship between parents and children.
Thank you, Tom. And then our last question, before we proceed with questions from anybody attending the program, are what are some options to access mental health services in the community? What are some reputable resources that you could share with us?
Yeah, I have a slideshow here that I want to, because I'm a visual learner, so I'm gonna share this slide. I don't know if I can share it now. Okay, I can share it now. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right, good. So for teen text, that is the 6-digit number 741741. Most of the time, teen going through depression, anxiety, they have issue with the family, and it's difficult for them to find somebody or that they trust to talk to, and this is a perfect place. They don't even have to talk, they just need to text this number, and there will be a professional that helped to help them to calm down and to find the solution to make sure that they safe at that time. And the teen hotline is 1-888-247-7717. I have Santa Clara County Crisis Hotline on here too, is 1-855-278-4204. And the mental health urgent care is 408-885-7855. This is the number for people who want to and have a thought of hurting themselves and feel like they are in danger. They can call this number or just drive directly to the location. I think that because of the COVID, they moved the location, so it's best to just call them and ask them where they are located at that time. So for people who have Medi-Cal, mental health call center is the to-go place. I refer a lot of my patients there too. The number is 1-800-704-0900, and it's depend on what is it that that you need. They will assign and they will give you the name and the phone number of the agency around your neighborhood that they work with in order to provide free services for you. Asian Quit Smoking Vietnamese line is 1-800-778-8440, and this is for this is all no charged. Last but not least, here that I wanna mention is the next door solution for domestic violence, and the number is 408-279-2960. And those are all the resources that I want to share with you today. I have a lot of resources, but I think those are the main one that I want to share today.
Thank you so much, Tram, for sharing your resources with us. So these are things that we can keep in mind in case we do need them in the future. So thank you for sharing with us, or if we know someone that might need them, then we can share this information with them as well. So at this time, we're going to open it up to the audience. If you guys have any questions or any comments for our speaker today, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions.
I have a question. Hi. So in addition to therapy, when you came over here and there was so many different challenges that you went through, what would you say are some of the other things in addition to therapy that were really important and helpful for you in with your mental health and with your emotional well-being, and even just being able to adapt to a whole new culture and place over here?
Thank you, Kristen. I guess beside working on my mental health issue with my therapist, the first thing that I want to say is family and friends. They have been with me and they're willing to help me out whenever that I need help with, and when I am ready to share with them. So thank you to my family, my immediate family and extended family, and my friends who are not blood related, but always there with me, support me, and some of you were here today, and thank you. You know who you are. Thank you for always being there for me and support me. You don't know how much you touched me at certain time, certain stage in my life, and that helped me a lot in my journey.
That's beautiful. I just want to say that your story warms my heart. And I just see so much courage in you. And I'm so glad that you fought your way out of the bathroom and that you found your way out of that lake area walk, because you have a divine purpose. So I am so glad to meet you and so glad that you are here today.
Thank you for having me today. I'm honored to be here today.
I have a question for you. I guess, yeah, I kind of want to reiterate what everybody else has said too. I think your authenticity and
I want to say that, yeah, your story was incredible, and I'm sure that you know, being an immigrant myself, the authoritative parenting, that makes a lot of sense to me, and I see it happening a lot in my family. You must deal with a lot of parents who are hesitant to change that, and open to things like therapy. Do you have any advice on how to get them to open up, or help with the parenting?
Yes, first of all, I would acknowledge and ask them what works and what did not work, because as human being, when we do something, it have to work, right, in order for us to continue to do that. If that didn't work, I am sure that they would not do it, and they would stop a long time ago. In certain degree, it's helped and it's worked in certain degree for certain thing, right? So it's very important to acknowledge that and to highlight that before you can ask for, okay, so what is that is not working? And where is that? What is it that they want to do better? Where do they want to go from there? And be gentle and respectful and guide them from that point moving forward, because that is when they feel that that we understand them. They feel that they are being validated. They feel that all of what they have tried is for the purpose. Right? It's very important that they feel that acknowledgement. They feel that sense, and not it only when they feel safe, when they feel that they're ready to change, that when they can take the first step. Before, when I was just a newbie, I did not know. I was a parent coach. I came into Gardner after my bachelor degree as a parent coach, right? As a coach, I didn't know any better. So I just came in and said, did you try this? Did you try this? Or did you try that? And the answer is that, nope, I did. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working, right? And I learned not to do that. And I learned to just sit back and say, yeah, it's difficult. It's really difficult. And I get it. I get you. It's not easy. Until they feel that I feel them, until they feel that I am on the same page, I am on their side. That's when they're willing to learn new techniques, new skills. And that's how I think that is more effective.
Thank you. That was, yeah.
Did I answer your questions?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's just like probably good advice for anyone, in approaching any situation. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, Tram. Juliana, I think you had a question too.
Yeah, I just want to start by saying that I appreciate your openness and authenticity. It's really beautiful, and I know that it's hard sometimes. And kind of going off of that, my question for you is, do you have any advice for people who, I don't know, we all kind of understand it's hard to open up and be authentic and just like be ourselves, like, you know, thinking that we might like take up too much space, or we're going to be too much, we're, you know, going to talk about all these terrible things that have affected us. You know what I'm saying? Like some people don't take that well. Do you have any advice for kind of like dealing with that in yourself? You know, you can't change how other people feel about it, but like having the confidence or like bravery, I don't know, to open up. Yeah.
Yes. So normally, well, first of all, is to choose who you want to open up to. To choose someone that supports you, that you trust, right? And to be honest, this is one of the first time. Well, this is the first time that I publicly sharing my experience, and it was hard for me. I rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed, and I'm still crying. It's not easy, right? And Ophelia told me that I have an hour, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to talk about myself for the whole hour. So I get you. I can really relate to that. The thing that helped me is that to focus on the audience, to focus on other people instead of focus on myself when I share my story. Because when I speak up, it's not about me. It's not about um, how good I am. Because when I start to focus on that, then I feel stressed. I feel that I'm being judged. I feel that I am taking a lot of time from other people. But when I shift, I learned, and this is the skill that I learned. I learned to shift the focus on the listener. Whenever that I speak about myself, I think, what is it that I can bring? What are the value that I can bring to people who are listening to me? And I just focus on making that happen. What is it that I want to share to help people who listen to me through my experience, through my story? So I shift my focus onto my audience instead of focusing on myself, and to see, oh, am I good? Am I, because I am not perfect. And it's taken me 30 years and more to finally accept. I realized that a long time ago, but in order to accept the fact that I'm not perfect, it's taken me 30 years of my life to accepting that. And that is, I think that is the one of the big things for me, that to be able to accept that, well, I'm short. English is my second language. I'm not gonna be able to speak like somebody who was born here, like my husband and everybody else, and that's just okay. Because
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
right, and because my imperfection is not as important as what my audience can get out of what I am trying to present.
That's so true. I had to clap.
Thank you.
Tram, what are some recommendations for people that come to this country? Like, what are some of the biggest like tips or recommendations you can give to anyone that's new here? Any resources or places they should go to, or where they could find support?
Number one thing, that acknowledge when you start to compare yourself with others, because that is automatically, that is our nature, right, to compare. And the first tip is to acknowledge that thoughts, and to know that where you are at right now is just temporarily. It's not you. It is not as important as who do you want to become, who you're gonna be in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Who do you want to be? And try to make goal and make to-do list and try to achieve those goals. And remember that if you can be better than yourself yesterday, that's a success already. And that is one of the tip that helped me a lot. Resources, we have a lot of resources. If if we don't remember anything today, 211 is the number that you need to remember. 211 as the resource number, right? Call that number, and it depends on what you need. They will be able to give you a list of the things that around your neighborhood to get help, and speak up to your friends, to your family members, to people who you trust, and to people who support you.
Thank you very much. And if anyone else has any questions or commentary, you guys have the ability to unmute yourselves and talk with Tram.
What would you say, let's say, what would you say is a good or a program the library can offer to address mental health in young children, right? Like thinking of even preschoolers or elementary students, because evidence shows us that it's there, but many times classroom teachers or even, library staff aren't really trained to recognize that or even think that it's possible. Can you speak to a little bit about mental health in children?
Yes, of course. Most of the time when parents bring their children to my clinic, most of the time they thought that is that the child has issue, and just fix their child. But for me, it's not that simple and easy. It's the whole system that needs to be changed. So to answer to your questions, there's a lot of, I guess, group or class that can, or just like activity to help children to have a safe space to be themselves, to be free, to express themselves, to be confident, to recognize. I volunteer. I'm Catholic, but I volunteer. Last year, I volunteered to teach Vietnamese as a temple in San Jose, and I had an opportunity to work with 16 of young children, teenager, preteen, and teenager. And there was one day that I have a question in Vietnamese. To ask them what is it that they like about themselves, what is it that they what is it that they proud of. And of 16 of my students, only one that was be able to tell me what is it that he loved about himself and what is it that he liked. Even though like I saw, because we do Zoom, so I saw everybody room. I saw the piano, I saw different things in their room. I saw beautiful decoration in their room. I saw plants that they have been taking care of, but they not recognize any of that. So I guess having a place for them to be themselves, to build self-confidence, to show off. My 5 years old love to show off now. And that is I guess that's some of the things that I think that the library can start doing. And I know that you guys do a lot of skill building. And so continue to do that and have more of those activity for kids to, because with family who do not have that much money, it's very difficult for them to have extra curricular, extra thing for their kids to learn, right? Like for example, somebody want the kids to learn piano lesson, to learn drums, to learn how to swimming, how to play jazz. Let's take a lot of money. There's a lot of money out of the budget. So maybe having free, having volunteer to do free classes like that might help. And also for teenager and preteen, raising the awareness. I have been doing a live stream with I think already 10 topics now every week. That for this few months I just focus on issue with teens, like suicidal. This week we're gonna do cutting. What else? How to manage anger, how to deal with, to help parents how to deal with child's behavior when the child, when the teen has their first boyfriends or girlfriends, right? So all of that are needed to just raise awareness, to help the parents to understand, to know more about child and adolescent developments, and to learn skills, also to have a teenager, preteen, or children to have a safe place to be themselves.
Thank you, Tram. Tram, another question. If people need information about the free materials you're putting out, the information, the parenting tips, the support groups in the Vietnamese language, do you have like contact information where we can connect with you or connect other people to you to be able to get connected to these services?
Yes, of course. Yes. There is the Facebook, the private Facebook group. I'll send you the link to the private that private group, because everything, all the material and all the videos and live stream that I did is in Vietnamese, so they can join that group. They don't have to be my friends. They can join that group. And in that group they can ask questions, and if that's if I think that I can have a topic on that, then I will try to do a live stream on that.
Okay. And then do you have like contact information you could provide to anyone in the audience that might want to connect with you to ask any additional questions?
Sure. Yes. Yeah. You ready to write it down?
Or if you could put it in the chat, that way anybody could just copy it from there.
Yes. And then for people who are listening is 510 771 7526.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So we have about 3 more minutes left. Does anybody else have a question or a comment that they would like to add today?
Thank you, Nukel. I saw some of the messages here. Livia, thank you for being here.
I just wanted to say thank you, Tram, for speaking and for your vulnerability and your strength. And it was really nice.
Thank you, Kristen, for being here to support me. Kristen is one of the clinicians at Gardner as well, and one of my best friends there.
Just want to say that you are amazing and your journey is amazing, and it was amazing for me to be able to hear more of it today. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you, because it's taking an hour away from your work and from your family is very, very meaningful to me. And I know that many of my friends are here today. I saw my cousin from Boston here. Many of my friends, chị Nga, thank you, Teresa, Jenny Mai, Huyền Nguyen. Yeah, thank you, everybody. I don't know if I see everybody here. Yeah, thank you for for inviting me and allowing me to share my story here. And I wish that everybody have a good day, the good rest of the day. Enjoy your time. It's beautiful. California is beautiful, beautiful weather. Go out. Today's Friday. One more day of work.
Thank you so much, Tram. We are very honored to have you. Thank you for being vulnerable, talking about your journey to becoming a licensed clinical social worker psychotherapist. We appreciate you having you in the community and all the work you do with the Vietnamese community. And now we have someone that we know in the field that we can connect with if we need to connect anyone else or assist someone we know. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for coming today to the last special speaker series for AAPI Heritage Month event. And we hope you will join us for the next one as well. Thank you so much. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, have a great day. Take care of your heart. Be kind to yourself.